Hey, this is Sophie Briggs again here at Kidokime-Ryu Karate-do class in Charlotte, North Carolina. Tonight I'm here with Kidokime Kar, and we're going to do yet another kata to post on our YouTube for training videos. We've already done the Heian kata so far, which basically covered the belts from the yellow stripe belt up through the blue belt to include the blue belt. The purple belt doesn't have a kata in it. Because purple belt in this style is all self-defense, hand-to-hand, grappling, joint locks, takedowns, that sort of stuff. But when we start back with our brown belt, we actually start back with katas. So the first brown belt, which is going to be our 32 brown belt, or we also refer to it as our first degree brown belt, we actually do the Sanchin kata. Now, the Sanchin kata, the entire kata is done from a Sanchin dachi, or a three-point stance. So, Yunanshi, if you can show everyone what a three-point stance looks like, or a Sanchin dachi. As you see, she's in her right hand Sanchin dachi. Okay, her right foot's out front, the feet comes in just a tad bit, the knees are bent, you can see both knees are bent and so forth. Everything as far as the arms are concerned are at 45-degree angles. From the shoulder to the elbows, 45, coming this way. From the elbow to the top of the fist is 45 coming out, and it's 45 degrees off this shoulder. Same thing on this shoulder as what's on this shoulder. Everything's 45 degrees. So, thank you, ma'am. So the entire kata, she's going to be moving from one Sanchin dachi to another Sanchin dachi. And so it's either going to be like a right-hand Sanchin dachi or it'll be a left-hand Sanchin dachi. She'll do the entire kata moving from Sanchin stance to Sanchin stance, or Sanchin dachi to Sanchin dachi. With all that being said, now, are you ready to do this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, me, please.
Kata, Sanchin.
So, what I didn't say at the beginning is we're going to do this from 3 different views. This was the first view with, she starts out facing the camera. The second view, she'll actually start out with her back to the camera. Do the exact same kata, we're just giving 3 different views. And then third and final view, we'll actually do it when I explain step by step by step exactly what she's doing during this. This is also a breathing tension kata. If you notice every movement she makes, she's breathing heavily through it because she's also tensing up as she's breathing. Every exhale that she's making as she pushes out, she's breathing out, she's exhaling out, and she's tensing her entire body up. We use the Sanchin kata to prepare yourself for the kata that's in line with the second kyu brown belt or the second degree brown belt, which is the Sanchin kata. During the Sanchin kata, you actually are getting hit and kicked during that kata. It's a breathing tension kata where you get hit and kicked. The Sanchin kata is when you first start actually conditioning the body through the breathing and the tension, getting used to that, and then that's where that first brown belt or the third kyu brown belt, and then the second brown belt that you test for, you do another tension breathing kata, and you actually are getting hit and kicked, and in some cases even swell, using sweep kicks and so forth during that. So they kind of go hand in hand. But right now we're doing the Sanchin kata. So we're going to do it, or Yodansha Kari is going to do it again, this time starting out with her back to the camera and going away so you can get a different view of what it looks like from that angle. Are you ready now?
Yes, sir. Ha! Sanchin!
Thank you, man.
So far we've got two views. We got a view with Yudansha coming, starting out doing the kata, facing the camera. And then we've got a view for her starting out and doing the kata with her back to the camera. So now we're going to do the last and final view, the third view of this kata. During the third view of this kata, I'm actually going to be explaining what she's going to do while she's doing the kata. Unlike when we were doing the Heian katas, where I would explain what the next move is going to be, and after each move, either Sensei Briggs or Yudansha Kato would stop, and I would explain what the next move was going to be, and they would go ahead and move it. She's going to continue moving through this kata, and I'll explain it, because this kata is a very slow moving kata to begin with. So I can explain what her next move is going to be before she actually gets to that, because of it being a tension kata and a breathing kata. So she's going to actually start the kata and still do it at the same pace as what she did the previous two times. But this time I'll actually be explaining to you what she's doing while she's doing it, or what her next move is going to be. But remember, this is a tension breathing kata. So every move that she's actually doing during this kata, she's breathing and tensing every muscle in her body while she's doing it. She's conditioning her body through this breathing kata, because the next breathing kata for the next belt, she would actually be receiving contact by that one. So we're going to do this one more time, and I'll be basically narrating or explaining what is happening while she's doing it. And like I said, previous two times before, every move, and as well as you have saw the previous two times, every move is done from a Sanchin Dachi, which is a three-point stance. With that being said, now are you ready to do it one last time? Okay, about me. Okay, face the camera, please. Okay, as with any other kata that we do, and all the kata that we do, all of our kata begins and ends with courtesy. Courtesy is the bow. So the first thing you'll actually see Yudansha do at this point is she'll bring her feet together, she'll bow, she'll come up, and back into a ready stance. At this point, she's going to announce the kata.
Kata. Sanchin.
So she announced the kata, Sanchin. As soon as she announces that, she's going to pause. Obviously with Sanchin kata, there is no ki-eyes, because it's all tension and breathing. So there's no ki-eyes in this. But she will pause as soon as she answers that, and as soon as she announces it. And as soon as she announces it, after the pause, she'll then begin her first step. Go ahead, ma'am. And as you can see, her feet comes together. She's got her feet together. She's in an open stance, position of tension, but with her knees bent. Her hands are folded in front of her. What she's doing now is she's inhaling and exhaling 3 times. Okay? Inhale and exhale 3 slow times. She's getting her mind and her spirit ready to begin this kata. As soon as she does that, she's going to come right out into a 3-point stance, or a Sanchin Dachi. As you can see, she's in the right hand Sanchin Dachi. And she's going to continue that. As you can see, her left fist draws back. She inhales, and then she pushes out, she exhales, and then she comes back to this. She'll step into the next Sanchin Dachi. And she's going to continue on through this while I explain what's going on. That was 1. This is cycle number 2. She's doing the exact same thing. She's staying in a Sanchin Dachi. Keep going. She's staying in a Sanchin Dachi, and she inhales when she's pulling back, and exhales as she's pushing out. Now at this point, she's going to do a block. She looks, she steps over, she does a block, she comes back into a left-hand Sanchin Dachi. Immediately, she starts doing the same thing. She brings the right fist back, breathes in, exhales as she pushes it out. She'll step up, and she's doing the same thing. This movement, if you notice, she's done 3 times coming toward the camera. She's going to do it 4 times going away from the camera, doing the exact same thing. She's going to go from one Sanchin stance to another Sanchin stance, pulling the fist back, inhaling, pushing it out, and exhaling. Now she's on her 4th time, so she's going to do this turn with a block again off of this one. As you can see, she's done that. Now she's going to go right back to doing what she's done. This is 1 time. And as you're going to see, she's going to step into a right-hand Sanchin Dachi and continue on. Now she's inhaling, right-hand Sanchin Dachi, and exhaling. But she's not going to move anymore. It's all going to be the hands. So that was 2. And she's going to go back to the right hand and breathe. But as you can see, the lower body's not going to do anything. The hand movements are going to inhale, or she's going to inhale and exhale with her hand movements 5 times on this one, but she's going to remain still after that initial change of stance there. So after she does that initial change of stance, she's going to continue on until the hand movements are a total of 5. Then she opens up. She inhales when she opens up. When she pushes down, she exhales. She comes right back to this position again. She's going to do this 5 times. Okay? So if you remember, it was moving 3 times forward, turn around with a block, 4 times back, turn around with a block, step out 1 time, which would be 1, or she'll do it 1 time, step out, which is 2, and then do it 3 more times to make a total of 5, and this is going to be a total of 5. After she gets to her 5th one, she's going to step back with the right foot, do the circular movement with her hands while she's inhaling and push out while she's exhaling, just like this. At the end of that, she's coming back into the original starting position. As you can see, she's in the open toe position, tension stance. Knees are bent slightly. Her left hand is covering over her right hand. She's going to inhale and exhale a total of 3 times in this stance. Once she finishes that, she straightens her body up. Back to the position of tension, she bows out of it, and then she comes back into a ready stance, which is what she's in now. And that completes from start to beginning Sanchin Dachi. It's a short kata, but we concentrate on the breathing and the tension of the body, all the way from start to beginning. And this kata goes with our 3rd kyu brown belt, or the very first brown belt that you get. It's either 3rd kyu brown belt, as far as kyu grades goes, it's 3rd kyu brown belt, or we refer to it as the 1st degree brown belt. And we'll have 2 more katas, 1 for each one of the other brown belts before we actually get to the black belt. The next kata behind Sanchin is going to be Sanchin. Okay? Another tension kata, a little bit different from this, but Sanchin prepared her to train herself to do the tension and the breathing. Sanchin, she's going to do the tension and breathing, but she'll be receiving contact in her Sanchin. So pretty much that's where we're starting at now. 3rd kyu brown belt kata, Sanchin. Thank you, ma'am. That was a very good job. And that was the 3rd kyu brown belt kata, like I said before, Sanchin.